Hi, my name is Gabby, and I am the founder of Vida, which is a subscription in Spanish for kids ages 1 to 4. I decided to create Vida, which by the way means life, after being a nanny for almost 6 years. I realized that I didn't want to do anything that was not for kids or with kids. And I also realized the need of making Spanish more accessible for everyone, not just for like an education point of view, but more for like a cultural one. I feel like languages bring barriers down, and that is something that I wanted to do. I also wanted to share my culture, which I'm very proud of, and I figure what better way to do it than creating a box that not only means something fun and educational, but also translates into quality family time.
Tell us a little bit more about your business and what is this Vida boxes.
The Vida boxes, or the Vida play kits, are divided in three different stages, which are the nesters, the hatchers, and the flyers. Because the idea, even you can see it in the logo, is there's this mama bird that's called Lola, and then there's a little baby that's called Pio. And what she wants to do is she wants to make sure Pio can fly on his own in the Spanish-speaking world. So the stages, they pretty much follow the same growth as birdies. So the first stage, which is 1 to 2 years old, is called the nesters. Then 2 to 3 years old, it's called the hatchers, and then 3 to 4 is called the flyers. So there are gonna be 3 stages, and all the boxes are gonna be different according to the stage. So we make sure like the kids have, age-appropriate activities, and they can actually engage and find them fun and educational, but also challenging. And what comes inside a kit, it pretty much always varies because our kits are seasonal. Right now we have the summer one available, and then we're gonna do fall and winter and spring, la la la. But then we try to keep the activities, going pretty much along with the station that we're in. For instance, in summer, we play a lot with like water stuff and we melt ice, etc. And the activities, it always brings like 3 or 4 different arts and craft activities, but it also comes with this sheet that shows you like the vocabulary. And then once you check the back of the page, it has a QR code that it has the link to. It's gonna lead you to a video that is gonna show you how to pronunciate those words in the right way, both in English and Spanish. And the reason why we did that is because we want to make sure you are able to use this box to help your kid learn Spanish even though you don't speak it yourself. So inside the box, you're gonna find 3 to 4 activities that are like arts and crafts. Then you're gonna find 2 activities such as board games, memory games, things like that, like tracing activities. And then it also brings the instructions for you to do those activities. And I think last but definitely not least, and my favorite part, is all the activities that you are doing in this box have a purpose. It's way more than just having fun and learning a language. We also wanted to make sure the kids were developing with this play kit. We wanted them to be able to challenge themselves and find fun things to do, but also things that would help them develop like abilities such as fine motor skills, gross motor skills, and work in different parts of their brains according to what they need in that moment. So the activities and the play kits are crafted by early childhood development experts, teachers, and me, that I have been in the childcare business for a little over 6 to 7 years now. So when you do any activity, you find instructions, and then at the back of the paper, you're going to find what that activity is working on. Meaning, in this activity, your little one is gonna be working their gross motor skills. Or in this activity, your little one is making their cerebellum work by doing this or doing that. Or, while you do this activity, your little one is gonna be able to understand how to follow instructions. We wanted it to be deeper than just like a fun thing to play with. And I think one of the things that I like the most about the play kit as well is, and that is something that I think you can see from the beginning in the logo, is the idea of quality time with your family. And that is one of the reasons why I wanted to create this box as well, because being an immigrant, what I miss the most is spending time with my family. And once you have it, I don't want to say I never valued it, but not as much as I do now that I'm here and I don't have it. So I kind of wanted to bring that into the world and give the little ones the possibility of spending time with their parents, because there's nothing more precious than family time.
Gabby, can you tell us a little bit about the logo and why did you pick are those toucans and why Lola and Pio are in this Vida logo?
So Lola and Pio, I wanted something tropical. I wanted something fun. I wanted something like that kids could see and like be like, oh, there's this like little bird that then becomes like a, flyer. I wanted them to be able to follow their own progress. And then I also wanted to incorporate the idea of quality time with family and of development and growth. So I also decided to do Lola and Pio because I think those are fun names that kids can pronounce, and they can, be like, oh, Lola and Pio are here, like it's time to learn some Spanish. So one of the things that come in the box is this video that once you, scan the QR code and go on the website, etc., you can see the video of Lola teaching Pio how to say these words. And if you look at the logo like closely, you're gonna see it kind of resembles like a heart. So it's the idea of loving family time as well. And that educational does not need to be boring. I think that is a very, bad misconception. It can be fun. We want this to be fun, educational, and to promote quality time.
Gabby, can you tell us why did you get into this business? I know your background wasn't radiology. Like, why did you decide to create this? And like, was this your first idea, or was something that it has to be that it was switched and the
This was not my first idea at all. And I think it's one of the things that I have learned the most about owning a business is that reinventing yourself is not a want, but a need. You need to be able to, analyze and be like, this is not taking me through the right path, this is not gonna work out, and have that flexibility to understand that plans have to change. My idea was actually to do some sort of a preschool in Spanish. And I had this idea way back in the pandemic, and then the pandemic came and I realized it's not ideal to open a physical business right now for what I want to do. And I also wanted it to be more accessible for anyone in this country because the boxes ship everywhere in the US. So I figured not only am I going to have a bigger market if I do it online, but also I'm going to be able to help more kids speak Spanish. I decided this to be, or anything that I was going to do in Spanish, because yes, I'm a Spanish speaker, but also because I recognize all the doors that being bilingual have opened for me, and that day by day being bilingual is less, uncommon, more like a need that we are developing as adults. Doing some research, I came across the fact that in 2050, 1 out of every 3 people in the US will be a fluent Spanish speaker. And that is, not too long from now. You might think it is, but it's the little kids that are like 1 or 2 or 3 that are gonna be 31, my age in 30 years. And I want them to be able to not stay behind and be able to dominate this language. And the boxes or the play kits are like in the early stages, but I think if we can make them fall in love with this language and find it fun and cool and sweet and, associated with family quality time, they're gonna have an easier process, while they continue to learn and develop this language within the years. So hopefully when they reach 31, 30, whatever, they are fluent speakers.
What are the lessons that this new journey has taught you?
Flexibility. I think that is the number one. And also discipline, because my goal changed because the idea of my business changed. Not because I wanted to change it, but because I had to change it. And not only the goal changed, but also the possibilities or of the ways to reach that goal changed. Because I think you always go into something thinking like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take like this route and that's gonna be it, and I'll just get there and like nothing bad is gonna happen. But that doesn't go like that. It's always like, okay, have plan A, but then chances are you're gonna end up doing plan like G, H, K, L. Like it's never gonna be what you thought it was gonna be, and you need to be okay with that. You need to be okay with changing your plans, changing the goal, becoming flexible, understanding that what you perceive or something that could work or want to make work might not work, and that's okay. That doesn't mean that it's not gonna be able to function in any other way. You have to always find a way to reinvent the business and yourself, and keep flexibility at the top of your head because you're going to need it.
I have heard you talk several times about reinventing yourself. It was, how do you think you can reinvent yourself? How difficult or challenging it was to reinvent yourself? And indeed, how many people do you have in the process of reinventing?
In the business, I could not have done it without my business coach, because he started with me when I had the first idea, which was opening like an indoor space. And then we started talking and we realized that was not going to work because A, the pandemic, B, the long to open that place was going to be something that I could not take on. And then I was going to be like, I don't want to use the word condemned, but yes, to like this physical space or this city or, this neighborhood right here, and I wanted to make it so much more. So he helped me in the process of reinventing myself and the business with it, of course. And I remember at the beginning of this idea itself, the Play Kits, I wanted to do like an envelope instead of like a box, because I thought like it's gonna ship faster and I can make sure the activities are like, they get done quicker, whatever. And that is one of the things that we realized, like, this is not gonna work. Might as well, take a little more time and invest a little more money just to make sure it works. But yes, it's been a never-ending changing process. And Francisco, my business coach, has been there since day one, because I would probably still be stuck in the first idea trying to make it work because I'm very stubborn. But I'm very glad that wasn't the case, because believe it or not, this idea that was not my original, I love way more than the first one that I had. And I think that is something very important. Just because you like what your first plan was doesn't mean that, the ending game plan is not gonna be the one that you're gonna be absolutely happy, thrilled, and obsessed with.
Gabi, can you also tell us some of the challenges that you have faced in the process of opening and registering a business?
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. It's a lot of documents, a lot of licenses, a lot of sign this here and sign this there, and then you can't do step B if you don't have step A, but then step A is step A1, A2, A3, A4, A5. It's a never-ending, draining, expensive process. And I had no idea where to begin, and that is where Latino Economic Development Center came in. At the beginning, it was just mostly so I could have like a game plan, like, okay, you need to do this first, and then you do this, and then you do that. And then as time went on, it became more clear what I needed to do, but I also realized how challenging it was gonna be. So I stayed working with my business coach, and he literally helped me through all those licenses. To this day, I have no idea how many licenses I signed for, how many forms I filled, I have no idea. But they were like plenty. And I could have not done it without him, because not only that it was a time that it took, because it took a lot of time, but also I never found in any website any sort of map or indication like, do this first and then do this and then do that, and then you have to make sure you do this and that before you go into the third step. That was nowhere to be found, and believe me, I looked But then when I started working with Latin Economic Development Center, they actually provided me with this guide showing literally step 1, step 2, step 3. And I'm the type of person that I work in a very logical way. So seeing that in paper and understanding and, being able to check mark what, was already done, what I needed to do, made the process way easier and doable than I thought it was going to be.
Do you have any favorite stories about your business that you would like to share?
Yeah, so before we, definitely decide the activities, we like to try them just to make sure, they work and we're not sending anything crazy and something that's not doable. And one of the first activities that we tried out involved bubbles and straws and paint. And we did not think about the fact that the paint should be washable. And that didn't came out good. There were a lot of splashes, a lot of OxyClean need to be used in that house. And then we realized the importance of all the paint that we send being washable. And I promise the parents that are watching this that anything that I'm sending to your houses, you're gonna be able to clean. Don't worry, I know how important that is. So yes, that I lost my shirt, a little bit of dignity too, but I learned a good lesson and it was fun looking back at it.
What do you think, what is the recommendation that you will give to people that want to start their business?
Okay, first of all, be patient, because what you have in your head, the time frame that you have, it's good to have it as a game plan, but you also need to understand chances are it's not going to happen in that way or within that time frame. It does not mean that you're failing, it just means that it's taking longer. That is okay. I would also have said this so many times, but you need to be flexible, because your ideas, as great as they are, might not work. The things that you think are gonna be easy might end up being challenging. And you need to be able to understand that if paths A, B, and C didn't work, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't keep trying. Because if you stop at path C because it didn't work and you didn't try path D, maybe you lost the possibility of making it work, because maybe you just had to knock on that one more door. So being, very self-advocate, make sure you put your business first and don't stop trying just because things get hard. Because it's really easy to get lost in the process and realizing how hard it is and be like, it's just not worth it, it's so stressful, etc. But then when that comes, I think you need to take a step back and remember why you started. That's actually a quote that I put on my desk, because sometimes I get very stressed out with all the to-do lists that I have to do. And I check mark 1 and then 6 pop out and I'm like, am I ever gonna finish this? And then I read that, remember why you started. And I'm like, okay, I started this business, and then I start doing, the checklist on my mind of why I want to have this business working. And that suits me, and I'm like, okay, you have your goal. In order to reach that goal, you need to sit on this desk and finish this task. So do it. But yeah, that is something that I think you have to have on side all the time. What the main goal is, what the main objective of your business is. And I'm not just talking from a money point of view. For me, it's time. I want to be able to have time to do things and work, dedicate more time to my family. So that is the main goal. That is what I think about when I get very stressed out. It's okay, you're stressed out today, but tomorrow you're gonna have all the time in the world, because this business is gonna be running.
What do you think is the future for Vida?
I want to put Vida Play Kids everywhere in the world. I want to bring them to every English-speaking country, and then once that happens, I would love to be able to launch Vida in other languages, such as Latin America. I would love to be able to have a live box, wink wink, in which kids that have Spanish as a first language would be able to learn English in a fun, different way. Because I want to unify the world by making them pretty much all have access to the same language. So I want to put my boxes everywhere, and I hope every time one of the boxes, gets to a house, the kids see it and they just associate it with fun, Spanish, like time with my parents. So that I think is what comes next. More boxes, more languages, more fun, more family time, and definitely more Spanish.
Now, people that would like to have these play boxes, where can they find them?
In our website. So it's gonna be vidaplaykits.com. And then you can find us on social media as Vida Play Kids on pretty much any social media platform.